Hello my loves, and welcome back to your favorite crochet channel, and welcome back to a very special YouTube video which I've actually never done before, but it was highly requested in my comments and in my DMs. So here we are with my laptop today, and we're going to talk about everything I've crocheted in my life so far, which is going to start in the year of 2021 and is going to end today, on this day. And I spent the last 5 hours gathering all of my crochet pieces that I have lying around in my apartment and went through all of my social media posts to find out on which day, in which year I crocheted which piece. And let me tell you, it was a lot. So I have all the information here, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Belina, 22 years old, and I started posting crochet tutorials on YouTube right here, and it turned into my dream job. And this is what I'm currently doing. I also opened up my own yarn brand by BELINA, and we're gonna come to that later, but that's what I do right now. And today we're talking through everything I crocheted. And we are starting with the day that I learned how to crochet. It was June 29th, 2021. One of my friends taught me how to crochet, but I never really continued doing it. The project that he showed me how to do was a checkered bag, but I never finished it. And I think 2 years later, he gifted it to me as a birthday gift. And because I never finished it and then went on a little vacation with one of my friends, I crocheted a bikini on the 21st of July 2021, which actually was the first crochet piece I ever did. A very tiny crochet piece, but it was how I started. Then there was a very big gap of me not crocheting, and the project that I did on May 17th, 2022 was this beautiful top, which actually should have been a whole top, like a body part with connected sleeves, but because I didn't know back then how to do that, I just had like these hand warmers and the tube top and connected it with like strands, but I love the look of it. And this was actually the first clothing piece that I did, almost 1 year after I got taught how to crochet. I also wore that for a little vacation I had with Pandora together with the brand. And I got so many compliments on the crochet project that it was so motivating. Then I started making also things as a gift for others. So I don't have the pieces to show you, but what I crocheted a lot was like flower bouquets. And I loved doing it, and I'm really sad that I never made one for myself. I only made them as a gift for others, but that's what I crocheted a lot at the beginning. And then I started a top and a skirt. The skirt I started while I was on this little brand trip. I did a little solo trip after it, and that was when I crocheted the floral beige skirt with a matching top, and I finished it 26th of June 2022. This is the piece, and I'm still in love. I always wanted to redo like the pattern or start anything similar or do a tutorial, but it was so complicated. It was the most complicated thing ever because you finish these squares while connecting them to finishing the other square. This was so complicated. I never wanted to do this again, but I finished it. Then my next big project, which I finished on June 29th of 2022, was this floral top long sleeve, which I actually posted a YouTube tutorial. If you want, you can check that out too. It was, I think, my first tutorial, and the explaining part, well, I was struggling a lot. So I got a lot of hate comments on that. But I think I'm better now with the explaining, okay? I tried my best back then, but I mean, it was my first year of crocheting, so I wasn't the best at explaining. On August 15th, 2022, I finished one of my biggest crochet projects, I think in general, and especially for the year 2022, because I crocheted a long granny square skirt. And I know that this took me, I think, over a month to make, just because I had, I don't know how many of these tiny squares, and it was a lot of fun. I really did learn a lot about crocheting with this project, and looking back at it, I still love it. The only problem is I did do it with like a bit heavier cotton yarn, so the skirt is very heavy, but I still love the look of it. The next project I finished was this black floral vest, which is the same pattern than I did for the long sleeve. And I think I also did a tutorial on this, which should be a bit better for the explaining. But the pattern in general is complicated, so it's not only me. And I finished it on August 29th of 2022. And then I went on a trip to Italy together with my mom, and I did the same shirt in beige. But before that, I made a skirt with the exact same pattern too, with this floral pattern in beige. And I finished it on the 16th of September in 2022. I think there's a tutorial for this one too. I'm not sure. I'm gonna link all the tutorials in the description down below, so you can go back and check that out, just in case you wanna recreate one of the projects. Then on 25th of September 2022, I finished the shirt, the black vest floral thingy in beige. I just realized I missed one of the projects. I'm not sure when I did it, but I also did this 3 pattern skirt in this like light blue color. I think I did a tutorial for that too, I'm pretty sure, so I'm gonna insert that somewhere here. I don't know on which day exactly I finished it, but it was on the same Italy vacation. This is what I remember. After this vacation, I was back in Berlin, and on the 15th of November 2022, I crocheted this crochet bag, which is also available as a YouTube video. It was just a little project, but you guys loved it and I did too. The next project I finished on the 2nd of December 2022, and it was this checkered scarf. And I think this is one of the projects that I wear the most often. And I remember that it was a lot of crocheting because it's a scarf, but I loved it and I still love it. Like looking back, I think it was worth it because scarves is something you wear more often than like one of the shirts, I think. We entered the checkered era. I then did the checkered beanie on the 22nd of December 2022, which is going to come back in the first by BELINA drop, you will remember. And I really love this too. It is also one of the projects that I wear most often, and this is also why I chose it as a piece for my first own brand collection. Then I had a little travel break from crocheting, and I started back at May 8, 2023, and I crocheted a laptop cover, which is also available as a tutorial. And then still one of my favorite projects, which I also wore a lot to events and like special occasions, was the beige distressed top from May 19th, 2023. I also did this one then in black, which is available as a tutorial. It was a bit hard because I wanted to do it in black, and tutorials with black yarn I think are always very difficult to follow, but I tried my best to show you as best as possible. I loved it because it was a freestyle project, which I just crocheted onto my body kind of, and then redid for a tutorial in black. So the beige one, I really just did strands of different yarn textures and then connected it onto my body, and then this piece happened. And the black version I finished on the 13th of June 2023. Then the next project I did also do in black and in beige. I have a little obsession right here. I can see a little pattern. I came up with the checkered shrug, kind of, the checkered sweater. There's also a tutorial for that on my YouTube channel. I can almost say that to every piece, and I'm very proud about that. And I finished them, like both of them, around 9th to 17th of July 2023. And I also wore them a lot. And I have to tell you a story real quick about the black checkered crochet sweater, because I remember I was to a festival in Germany and one girl came up to me. I wore the sweater, like I was wearing the sweater, and the girl came up to me and she was wearing the exact same sweater she recreated from like my tutorial. It was just so random that we met, and it was like, this is like one of the memories I think I will never forget. If you see this girl, all my love to you, because this was one of the cutest moments in my life, I think. And in general, here I must say, every person that comes up to me saying, "Hi, I redid this and this from your tutorials," my heart is melting. Guys, this is the cutest compliment, and I love talking with you, and I love seeing you like come up to me and talk with me about crochet project and stuff. So in case you see me, just come to me and talk with me. I want to talk with you. The next project is also like a project you will see a lot in my timeline, because it is a project that kind of make me really start with the crocheting. It is also a pattern that got stolen from another creator, and she was very rude to me, and yeah, she just stole the exact same pattern and made money off of it. And I was like, okay girl, sell my pattern online. Yes! Sell the exact same stitches, the exact same pattern, no problem. Yeah, that hurt me a lot, and that kind of still, yeah, sits heavy in my heart. But anyways, anyone can steal my ideas, but they cannot steal my brain. So I was like, okay, time for me to just come up with new patterns. But this pattern is my summer sweater pattern. And if you know it, you know that I redid it in a lot of colors. And the first colorway that I did it in, and I almost forgot it, was this bluish grayish ocean vibe. And I finished it on the 25th of July 2023. And then the next project that I did was this pink shrug, also with like lots of patterns in it. I think there is also a tutorial on my YouTube for this one. I'm not that sure, but I think it should be. I finished it on the 31st of July 2023. And then the next project was the summer sweater in yellow, which I finished on the 19th of August 2023. And I can tell you, the yellow is going to be my color in this year too. Just as a little hint. Now we can also see that my crochet style turned from black beige to colorful. And now after the yellow sweater and the pink and the blue, I did a violet sweater vest on October 5th 2023. It is available as a tutorial too. One of the projects I almost forgot to tell you about was finished on the 26th October 2023, and it was this special top which I crocheted for Pandora. It was a collaboration, and I crocheted it to hang all the little dangles onto it and all the jewelry pieces. And I still really do love it. It was one of the first projects that I actually blocked. And yeah. And the next project I also really loved, because it was the leftover yarn sweater from November 27th of 2023. There's a tutorial for this one too, and it was in collaboration with Google Pixel. And I loved this campaign because I was like completely free to do whatever I wanted to do. And I was like, okay, let's ask random people on the event that I was at to tell me a specific number and a color. And then this was how I created the sweater. Like, the rows are the numbers and the colors that the people there taught me, and I just collected a lot of these numbers and then crocheted the sweater out of it. And then after my black beige phase, my turning into colorful phase, there was my balaclava phase. And you guys, my balaclava era was one of my favorites. And it is still a big part of my by BELINA collections, and it will forever be, just like the summer sweater, I think, because it just screams myself, I think. And the balaclavas especially have like I don't know, they're like so close to my heart. I also gifted some of them to my friends. So the first one I did was the blue balaclava, the granny square balaclava, which went crazy viral on Instagram, which I really didn't expect because it was one of the pictures I took thinking, oh, this looks not good. And they posted it and it was crazy, like so many pages reposted this picture. I got questions from rappers if I could crochet them some, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. So I did do that on December 8th, 2023, and I also did the black version. I don't have it here anymore, so I cannot like film it again, but I have a lot of pictures that I can insert. And I finished this one on December 17th, and I gifted it away. Or like lent it. But let's see, maybe I will have it back. But I also have another version, which is the pink version. And I have to say the pink version I also love so much. I think I personally love it more than the blue one. And I did this one on January 23rd of 2024. So this was the first project of 2024, and now that we are in 2024, we are of course not stopping with the balaclavas. I started the leftover balaclavas. So I came up with a pattern for leftover yarn to turn it into a balaclava, and there are also tutorials for this one and also for the other balaclava. I'm gonna link it down below. And the first colorway that I did it in was the blue greenish balaclava, and I finished this one on February 17th of 2024. And in a similar colorway it came back for my second by BELINA yarn drop. We will come to that later. I just wanted to mention it once again, just because I'm so proud. The next project was finished on the 24th of February 2024, and it was a black mesh sweater, yeah, vest kind of piece. And there's also a tutorial for this one up on my YouTube. And I really liked this one too. I somehow never really wore it. I think I wore it to 1 or 2 events, but I never really, I don't know why, I always forget about it. After this I was back with my headwear and I was back crocheting a beanie, and this time I created like this stripy beanie in yellow, and there's also a tutorial for this one, I think, I think so. I think there is. And I finished this one on the 23rd of March 2024. Then I did the leftover yarn balaclava in pink, and I love this one so much. I finished it on the 29th of March 2024, and I really did love this. I did film a tutorial for it, that's why I have it twice. That's also in general why I most of the time have projects twice, is because I created it once, for example for the balaclava or the mesh sweater or the checkered sweater. I created in one color, and then when I finished it I know what to do and I film it and explain it to you in a tutorial then. So that's why I have most of the projects twice, or like similar things. And that was also for the pink leftover balaclava, and I still love it. I especially love the pink. I think I should crochet something pink again. Anyways, then what I did was another leftover yarn beanie, which was a gift. So I don't have it anymore, but I can show you some pictures. And this was also in collaboration with Maison Margiela, which matching their perfume, which was new back then, and they invited me to London, and I wanted to make a special video, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna film a little transition video with the perfume that it was about and create a beanie while filming the transition reel. Did that make any sense? But yeah, so this was not only a birthday gift but also a collaboration, and I did enjoy working with so many colors. It was the first time crocheting like a project with this many colors, And I loved doing it, and it reminded me a lot about the sweater I did for Google Pixel, but it was a different colorway. I think it was like more like crazier colors. You know what I mean? It was not like pastels and all cute. It was more like playing around with like really bright colors for the first time in all of my like crochet pieces. Then the next projects were all of the black and white pieces I crocheted for my first yarn drop, which back then my first by BELINA yarn drop, if you don't remember, was black and white yarn. And I wanted to do this as my first drop just because it was like the basics, and it was all about what can I crochet with only two colors, which is black and white. And I came up with the checkered sweater, which was a lot of work. Let me tell you, this was also like really a lot of work, but I think it was very worth it. And the summer sweater, also in black and white. Then, here we have it. The checkered beanie came back, and matching the checkered beanie, I also did a checkered pillowcase. Funny story about the pillowcase, I filmed a tutorial for it, but I lost almost all the files. So the tutorial never came. But there's a free tutorial for the beanie and the summer sweater. And also lots of vlogs about opening up my own yarn brand, just in case you want to check that out. So after crocheting all of these pieces, which was a lot of work, I was kind of really like not that energetic to come up with new ideas, just because this was very stressful. Like I did all the packaging and everything by myself with friends, and it was a lot of work, so I was a bit drained, and my creativity was just not really there anymore. But what I did was I crocheted a black bra on the 13th of July 2024, and then there was my drop together with We Are Knitters on the 9th of September 2024, which consisted of 3 pieces. One was a bag that matched my first yarn drop, which was the checkered bag. Then we had one sweater vest, which is inspired by my violet one that you saw in the beginning of the video. And my summer sweater with like a bit of a winter touch with like a little collar and more like thicker yarn than my summer sweaters. And these were the 3 projects for my We Are Knitters collection. So this was what I was crocheting at this point. And then it was already time to crochet all the pieces for my second yarn drop for by BELINA, and it was all about ocean colors. So it was the ocean drop. Like guys, these colors, I can see them there, and I'm still like so in love with them, with like all the shades. And it was all about beige and blues. And it was also the first time not only having cotton yarn, but also having mohair yarn. And for this drop, the patterns that we had were the balaclava, the summer sweater as a cozy sweater. Then we had the scarf, which was a lot of work, but it was totally worth it because it is one of the projects I also wear a lot. Then, I love this one. I created a pattern similar or like inspired by the yellow and the colorful leftover yarn beanie, and I turned this into the blue version of the beanie in combination with the hand warmers. And as a last project, it was my first time crocheting shorts. And I did a shorts pattern, and I love it so much. Still, like looking back, seeing the pictures. Sometimes when I scroll at Pinterest, I see pictures of the shorts and I'm like, still so gorgeous. So these were the 5 projects I crocheted for the second by BELINA drop. And this drop was on December 2nd of 2024. And the only thing that I started while doing this was a bra, like the black version, but in a white version, and I wanted it to be more like a top, but I never really finished it. So yeah, this is what I also did, but I don't know, it was just a little project that was not that well thought through, but I think it was nice to have something to work on. So this also happened. And these were actually also the last pieces I crocheted in the year of 2024. And now we are entering 2025, which was until now filled with lots of stress and not that much time for crochet projects. And I'm a bit sad that I spend so much time not really being inspired or feeling creative enough to come up with ideas. But I feel like now I am in a better state of mind. I am also already thinking about new patterns for the next by BELINA drop, and I feel like it's getting better. But I didn't crochet for the first 2 months of the year. And then some of you might have seen the video where I was like trying to really get into crocheting again, which was the filet crochet dress. So I was like, okay, I feel really blocked and I don't know where to start. I don't know what to crochet, and I'm just gonna start doing something I never crocheted before. And this was filet crocheting. And so I did crochet this long filet crochet dress, which was a lot of work. You can watch the video if you want to. I will never post a tutorial on this, I think, because it was so much work, and I think the explaining would be so hard because I would need to explain how to do the crocheting, and it was a lot of like improvising and a lot of last minute changes on the dress. So I really don't know how, but somehow it turned into a dress, and it was a lot of work, but it was worth it. I wore it to the Fashion Week, Berlin Fashion Week 2025. And I got many compliments on it. So this was my first big project of 2025. And the second big project was the granny square jacket, which is a video that I just uploaded. And this was also a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun. Like, I had so much fun crocheting with so many colors that I never like combined before. And I still really do love it, and I think it will be one of the pieces that my boyfriend will wear a lot because it was a gift to him. And the project that I am now crocheting is a polo shirt, which for now I only have the front pieces, and I was struggling a lot because, well, may or may not, the yarn that I used is not only sold out but will never be created again. Yeah. That was amazing, and now I'm working with some other yarn that is similar, but also I'm not so happy with it. But anyways, it's just for designing the pattern, right? So this was everything I crocheted in my life in the last few years, and I hope you somehow got inspired, or you found the project that you want to crochet next. And you can check out all the tutorials in the description. Leave some love, because this video was a lot of work. I didn't expect it, but it was a lot of projects. And a lot of like research on my own social media. I felt like a stalker. But I thought this was a cute idea and also a cute video for myself to have, so I can see what I created in the last years. Because looking at my floor where everything is right now, I'm like, wow, this is what I crocheted? That's crazy. I crocheted like a whole wardrobe. I can open a store basically. So if you're still here with me, thank you for watching until here, and I hope to see you soon. And if you crocheted any of my pieces, like, or got inspired by it or anything, or just want to write me, feel free to DM me and follow me here and on my other social medias. I love to chat with you guys, and I love to talk about crocheting. So hopefully see you there, and hopefully see you in the next YouTube video. And until then, have fun crocheting, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!